Testing 1, 2. A little bit hot there. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. Bronze Dragon here with the 21st episode of the Sunday afternoon sessions where we talk Atlas Earth. What's going on, what we've been up to, etc. Anything around Atlas Earth is fair game. And boy, has it been a weekend. We'll take a look at chat here in a minute. But yesterday, if you weren't with us, we had a new president take over. And we had quite a live stream over on Beer Money Engine. Pharaoh Silver lassoed in a bunch of people, and we were all live. I mean, we had King of Queens, Shaman 15 was there, I was there, Annalise was there, of course Pharaoh was there, Maximus was there. So we were all on live, and it was a 2.5 hour live stream. What an afternoon it was. We can talk about that. I don't think I'm going to be able to top that, but it was quite a live stream. Of course, the King of Queens flew out to California, was buying or might still be buying in the Los Angeles area, took over as president. And we were talking to the King of Queens and Shaman 15 about that, and basically getting their input on how they're playing and what their, what the situation was. It wasn't really a battle. I think at this point, Shaman 15 had, and they've been talking about leading up to this event, right? Kind of like King of Queens is a salesman, right? So he was like promoting this for a couple of weeks. So it was a good time, and Shaman 15 really didn't fight him for it. He's pretty much done with it. According to several different people, he's in taking his money and going to another. Well, let me say this. He's still playing Atlas Earth. Obviously, he has tons of money in Atlas Earth. He's not going to quit playing Atlas Earth. But what he's going to do is not fight for the presidency, in other words. So he said a bunch in the live stream yesterday, but I guess his opinion was he's done with that. And it was interesting to hear that the average, if you don't know the average, I think he said was, what was it, 2,500? I forget, between 1,500 and 2,500 Atlas bucks per day in United States badges. So I forget the exact number, but that was interesting. Let's jump into chat. We'll see who's here. Scott Kovacs here. Thanks for dropping by, Scott. And as always, thanks for supporting the channel. I want to take a minute here, and I want to just say thanks to everyone who supports the channel, whether you're a member of the channel or whether you send in super chats or anything. That money, that little extra money that comes in really helps out. I'm not begging for money, but I had to buy a new mic this past month, and I had to buy another piece of equipment, so it is appreciated. I don't tell you all enough. At the end of all my videos, I put the members of the channel, and you all know I appreciate you. So I just wanted to insert that there. Red X is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Says, well played, new president. Awesome to see him buy in Los Angeles yesterday afternoon till 11 p.m. Yeah, he was doing a lot of buying, and you don't stop. And at the lower end, when you're playing Atlas Earth, you don't really realize how much time it takes if you have to actually buy a bunch of parcels of land. We're going along at the lower end, you're buying 1, 5, 10 parcels or whatever. And then the first time you try to sit down or go out and buy like 100 parcels when you've been playing for quite a while, it takes quite a while to actually buy those parcels, let alone thousands. Like, we can see here, the King of Queens is now at 122,464. I wish one thing they would do on this leaderboard is make it live updating, so you didn't have to, refresh like this, So it doesn't look like he's up buying right now. He's probably still asleep. They're five hours behind us out there, so it's still early morning out there. Let's see. Alberto is in the house. Says, I did the jump to 198 parcels at 15% badges. Do you think that was a bad idea? Did I lose money? And then he goes on to say, I did, well, he's kind of saying the same thing. So the 15% badges and the 198, it really just depends upon where you're at. I would encourage you to go and use the Atlas Earth calculator. I get these types of questions all the time, and it's not really that I don't want to figure them out for you. It's that if you use the Atlas Earth calculator, you can figure them out for yourself. And you can also use the Tasty Wallet new user guide, which is, I keep the link in the information section of all my videos because it's a great guide. You can go to that guide and scroll about halfway down the page, and depending upon what country you're playing from, he will give his best breakdown of what you should do and when you should do it. As far as if you lost money, if you're using the Atlas Earth calculator, the first thing you want to do is put in your location at the top and make sure that's accurate. Fill in your parcel counts, fill in your badge counts, fill in how often you boost per day on average, kind of average, and then you can scroll down and you can look at what your daily average is, and then you can play around with the numbers and see if you would, gain or lose money depending upon what your actions is. So as far as what your question is, I'm not going to take out time to exactly figure it out, but I would say it depends upon where you live, and it also I would say just use the Atlas Earth calculator and figure it out so you can get a firm idea of what you're doing, and therefore going forward make a plan. But keep in mind that these kind of choices that we make only affect most people by a matter of cents per day. Okay, now, do they build up? Sure, but these are not huge mistakes. Once in a while, somebody will bust a tier or something like that and kind of be getting down on themselves, and I'll be like, hey, don't worry about it, right? It's only a matter of a few cents per day, which if you use the calculator, you can see that, right? Just go ahead and make your way up. Like I said, if you are sitting in between a tier, try to make your way. Go ahead and if you broke tier, try and make your way to the top of that tier, and then decide what you're going to do next. Okay, you don't want to be sitting mid-tier for too long. And as I said that, I've been sitting in mid-tier for quite a while, but I've been working on it because another thing we've been talking about is that as you go up in tiers, the tiers get wider and wider and wider, meaning that you have to buy more parcels before that break-even point. Now, with that said, we've also discussed the fact that really the main goal for everybody should be hitting that 2x multiplier, because as you're working along, the actual multiplier you get for boosting means less and less. I mean, is it still good to have a 2x multiplier? Sure, 2x multiplier is better than 1x, right? But the importance becomes more and more shifted towards the SRB, right? Hitting all those super rent boosts. So I went out on a limb and I kind of took it out on a tangent, the question there, Alberto. But check out the Atlas Earth calculator. I think anybody that plays Atlas Earth should have this tab, have this website saved as one of their favorites so they can go right into it. It saves your numbers so you don't have to automatically put your numbers in everyone, unless you clear the cache on your browser, right? And another thing that he's added over the last few months is the fact that you can go right in the middle here is show the boost break-even chart, and then you can see your break-even points depending upon, and that will further answer the questions you may have, because if you break tier and you're in the middle of the tier, you want to try to get at least to that break-even point as soon as possible, and then hit the top of that tier, and then sit back and decide what you're going to do. Okay, Cerezi's in the house. Welcome, Cerezi. Thanks for dropping by. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in this fine world. As always, I appreciate everybody's time stopping by and saying hello. Power Daz is in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Donnie S. says, good evening from the Netherlands. Well, good evening to you as well, Donnie. I am at 350 parcels now, the full 4 times multiplier. Next tier is 351 at the 3 times multiplier. So now I go for the 15% passport, need 17 badges, 3,400 AB, 5,000 AB for jump to 400. Oh, so that's his goal. My whole thing starting to make these videos about you on YouTube about Atlas Earth, and I've been doing it for more than a year now, is the fact that everybody plays different, right? Everybody in different countries, we have different charts to play by, and that's the first thing I want to encourage you to do is look up your chart over here on the Atlas Earth page. And take which thankfully they've actually put it back on the first page of the support page, which means, so let me get my phone out of the way here. So if you go to the Atlas Earth Reality support page, then there for a while they didn't have this question on the front page. So it may be up here for me because I look at it a lot, but I'm hoping it is everybody up there for everybody. Either way, if you go under gameplay, you're going to want to look up why do ad boosts change. And when you click on that, you will get the actual page that shows your charts. And they've reworked things. They've reworked a lot of these articles this last month. So kudos to them. But my main point here is take a picture on your phone of your chart so you can refer to it when needed, because this is a very handy chart. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of new players just don't even know about this chart. They come to Reddit or they come to Discord and say, hey, why did my rent just go down, right? Well, if you had your chart and you looked at it, then you would know. Did I know when I was new? No. It took me a week or two getting into the game and figuring things out and looking around. And that's why I started, kind of emphasizing this on the videos I did. Like I said, everybody plays different, but I emphasize the fact that you should look at all the facts at your disposal and try to make logical decisions on how you play, because some people engage much less with the game, like me. I think my goal on a monthly basis is 100 parcels. Now, for some people in the Netherlands or outside, that would be a huge amount because we play on different scales, right? So you've just got to kind of get in there, start playing logically, see what your daily and monthly play is like, how many Atlas bucks are coming in, and just kind of even it out and play logically, depending upon what. Now, there's some players, like players that buy a lot of Atlas bucks and such on the top end that consider my play very low end, That's fine. We all play different. I don't put money into the game. I use rent that I earn in the game, and I subscribe to the monthly challenge ladder. And I also I was over here looking at Los Angeles because King of Queens was buying in Los Angeles. But I also do some rent to Atlas Buck conversions, specifically for the challenge ladder, which started a few days ago, and I'm doing pretty good. Let me check. I'm at about 600. I'm at about 620 points. So currently, that's where I'm doing. I need to go out and I need to buy some parcels today. I believe I'm going to buy about 50 parcels. Like I said, my goal is 100. If I hit 75, I'm happy, but 100, I'm really happy. Okay, let's jump back into chat and see what's going on. Let's see here. Justin's here. Welcome. Says, day off, finally. Get to watch live. Nice, Justin. Thanks for dropping by. Martin Ray's in the house. Welcome, Martin. Poker Mouse was there. I don't know who Poker Mouse was. That chat in yesterday's live stream was huge, was bumping. Pharaoh Silver said it was the most people he's ever had in a live stream. He said it was like, I think it got up to 80-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it was pretty huge for an Atlas Earth chat. Justin says, shout out to Chance, whoever that is. Martin says, just like to say what a decent set of guys Shaman and King and Queens are. Yeah, I mean, they took time out of their day. Obviously, they're spending a lot. They have spent a lot of money on this game. And they had no problem jumping on a live stream with us and talking about it, answering lots of questions. So they both seem to be very decent people. I did like that. So the King of Queens girlfriend who flew out to LA with him had prearranged some custom cupcakes to be made out there at a bakery. And they had Atlas Earth stuff on it, like artwork on it. And they looked really cool. And this is from a guy that used to be a pastry chef. So, and they were on the way from the airport to the hotel. And she's like, "Oh, we got to stop someplace." And he's like, "Why you want to stop there?" They stopped there and got the cupcakes. So it was a very pleasant surprise she had got for him. But yeah, they both seem to be very decent people. And King of Queens over the last few weeks has pinged me once in a while in Discord and talking about this and that, strategy, a little bit of a strategy that he's using. And I think the strategy, we would have to talk to him furthermore about this, but I think a lot of it, and on the lower side of things, as far as my local area, a lot of where you want to take over as mayor or governor is high population areas, okay? It may be very cheap to take over this little town out in the middle of the country, but is it really worth, the parcels when you don't really get anything off of it unless somebody happens to be driving through there and buys a badge, right? So a lot of these top-end guys, what they're doing is concentrating on high population centers, big cities, things like this. And I don't know any specifics, but I know that the King of Queens is has a plan that since he came into the game last year, he's been strategically working to his plan as far as getting badges, not getting badges, taking over in the right areas to get the most out of the badge income. Okay, I think that's the best way to say. Anything further, and we'll have to talk to him a little bit on that. Annalise says 2,410 last month. Alessandro's in the house. Welcome, Alessandro. Thanks for dropping by. Arbin's here. Hey, how you doing? Says, have a wonderful weekend. Same back at you. Scott says, hey there, humanoids. Let's see here. I'm missing a little bit of chat. Lady Sharon's here. Welcome. Holding pattern currently in game, starting the ladder. Will be interesting to see the difference in games with games played instead of games won. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Let me get back there on my phone on challenges. And we do have bowling coming up this afternoon, I believe. But her point is, and I was surprised by this. I didn't really look at it that much because I'm not a big mini game player. I do play like the last 2 months. I played the first 2 levels of each mini game just to get a few points for the challenge ladder, right? But the main change that we're seeing here this month is the fact that the number of games went up, but now it's play, not win. Because at first I saw that, I'm like, 10 for a first level, there's no way I'm going to be able to win 10 matches. And basically, to me as a player, if it was win, there's no value in me even doing those challenges if I had to win 10 just for 20 points. To me, that's low value. Play 10 matches for 20 points. I don't know. I guess the value's there. We'll have to see how, what happens in the second level, I'm sure Annalise has got her chart updated. I just haven't taken a look at it. But Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I think the first level of win, what was it, win 4, I probably had to really play about 10 or 12 to win 4 logically. So, this might even turn out to be a little bit easier than previous, so. Just taking a second to remind you all, please leave a like on the live stream and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, if you like this kind of content. Leaving a like actively on the live stream while it is live helps the YouTube algorithm to say, hey, there's people interested in this. I'll push it out a little bit more for everybody. So thank you. Let's see here. Scott Kovac says, hi, Bronze Dragon. Hello, Scott. Todd Bunnell's in the house, says, hi, Bronze. I'd like to help inspire some of the new players and say that in case new players didn't know. Yeah, I mean, the main thing I want to tell new players is that this game starts out slow. It starts out very slow. But if you keep with it over time, it adds up, And I'm not, like I said, everybody plays different. Everybody puts different amounts of time into the game. Some people like playing the mini games. Some people don't. Some people like playing the it goes on, right? And different areas of the world, you're paid out different. I'm not here to argue that. It's just everybody plays different. You just, if you play it for a while and you figure that you're enjoying playing it and it's worth your time, then, just keep with it over time and remember to, do your spins every day. Remember to collect your ladder every day. Decide whether if you can do your challenges and get at least 70% of them done, 60 to 70% of them done on a monthly average. It's well worth subscribing to the ladder, in my opinion, because of the value you get out of just even the Atlas bucks you get out of it, let alone if you can fully complete the ladder, then putting that, LPU on top of there is just like icing on the cake. So Alberto says, Droid Dude's in the house. Welcome, Droid Dude. Thanks for dropping by, as always. Alberto says, thanks. Hopefully I don't lose money. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be too hard on yourself. You just have to put all your numbers in the AE calculator, see where you're sitting. And like I said, a lot of times it's just only minute amounts of money we're talking about. Now, this was built into the game because that's just on a person-by-person basis. But when that's added up across the full user base of Atlas Earth, that's a lot of money that the company actually saves when people bust tier, right? So it was actually designed into the game, and that was one of the specific purposes for saving money. But look at the chart, recover from, if you did make a little bit of a mistake, just recover from it and move forward. Because in most cases, it shouldn't take you too long to recover from it and move to, work towards the top of the new tier. Like I said, I'm not even immune to it because I've been working towards the 2 times tier between the 3 and 2, and I'm still 150 parcels away from it. Let me move my phone, change the screen. Which I will be putting 50 parcels down later on today or possibly tomorrow to hopefully get the first 2 tiers of buy parcels done. And I will also be working on my 5th mayorship. So I decided where I'm going to go in. It will be a shopping center around here, which this will be the first shopping center I take over. So it'll be a multi-month process though, because to take over the new mayorship I'm going to be shooting for, it'll be like I'll need over 300 to take over, right? So we're not talking about a little one. And it's not a huge one either, but it's a decent sized one, and it's a large area base that gets a lot of throughput of traffic, right? And there's several different major shopping centers in this area, so it gets a lot of flow of traffic and a lot of possibilities of people driving through and buy badges, basically. So let's see here. Scott says, I got my 2nd legendary today. Nice. I am taking your advice to get to the break-even point at 75. I was going to get a badge, but I'm glad I've listened. Yeah, I would go ahead. First of all, everybody, wherever you live, about that same point where you hit 40 parcels, you should get at least one badge. That'll start kicking that extra 5% in. And then after that, it gets kind of, you got to pick where you're going to do your badges. At this point, I've been at 15% badge boost for quite a while, just because I've chosen not to stop buying land and then just buy badges, because I have to travel 30 45 minutes around here just to find one badge, right? So I've just been picking them up where I can. And also the monthly badges from the challenge ladder has been helping me out a lot, moving from that 15 to 20%. I will surely be glad to get to that 20% mark though. I just didn't want to stop buying land just to work towards it though. Which, here in the States, if you look at Tasty Wallet's guide, I think around 660 or between 600 and 700, the advice is stop buying land and buy badges. I kind of just didn't do that. I just wanted to keep going with land. So I've just been accumulating badges slowly. Blood Crow is here. Welcome, Blood Crow. Nice to see you. Nice to see new names around. Said, so I spent $100 on Atlas Bucks and did some in-game things for Atlas Bucks. Was able to buy about 56 LPU. 56 LPUs. How can you buy 56 LPUs? Maybe Maybe there's a different thing we're talking about. 56 LPUs. 56 times 2,500. That would be 140,000 Atlas Bucks. What are you exactly talking about, Blood Crow? What did you buy 56 of? You mean 56 parcels? Let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it. Todd Bunnell says, they can combine $1 in rent and 75 Atlas Bucks to get a property and speed things up. Also, the game is constantly evolving. Keep buying land. Once you own it, and wait for the future. Yeah, I mean, we've got also, according to, we've got several different things in the pipeline that they're working on that have been, quote unquote, coming soon, and Annalise was talking about that to some extent yesterday. She said we've got some major things they're not just working on one thing at a time. They've got multiple teams working on these things, like there are a few things that were dropped off of the list. I would like the AMP program to come back to be top priority, but I don't know. We'll see about that. But we do have, I think she said, Poland and UAE, or what was the other area over in Saudi Arabia? There was another place that had been mapped out this last month. Let me check. I know I had this in a chat from Annalise. So Finland, Poland, and Sweden this last month, I guess they've been mapped out. I don't think that they're live per se, meaning that you can't, if you live in those areas, you can't find the app on your app store. Now, if you happen to be traveling through on vacation or something or other, you can buy parcels or something. But that's another thing I'd like to have, like a little bit more of announcement when new countries go live. That's a big thing. That's something that Atlas Earth should capitalize on and advertise. Instead, it's just like, oh, it went live. We're not going to tell anybody about it unless they ask. It's, to me, that really it grates on me because that's such a big marketing thing. They should come out and they should be, hey, we're live in, whenever they go live in, the Netherlands, we're live in the Netherlands, and there should, that kind of thing. Instead, I have to actually ask Annalise, hey, what countries are going live, because they were shooting to have like one country a month, right? And up to this point, they've been doing really good at it this year. So a lot of an expansion going on. Todd says, oh, I just said that. Martin says, did you work out what you made if you just bought parcels instead of, I don't understand what the question is, Martin. You'll have to say that again. Steve says, I became mayor, then bought the badge. I didn't get the 20 Atlas bucks reward. How long was I supposed to wait to buy the badge? There's like a timing thing, and Annalise, okay, so Annalise replied, if it has been more than 24 hours, please reach out to support. There's a glitch in the mayor payout system right now, and the team is working on it. Okay, so that's good. I didn't know about that. There's some kind of timing thing where you have to be the mayor of the area, and as long as you're still mayor of the area by midnight, then you get the payout. But if somebody takes, it's very gray, very hazy. I took over mayor of an area here a while back, and then I waited, and I came back, the next week to buy more parcels, and that's when I bought my badge. Zolden says, have you ever had luck grabbing badges in a small flying plane? I have not tried to buy badges in a plane. I know people say it's possible, though. So, obviously the problem there is that you're going pretty fast. So, let us know how it goes. I have heard a lot of people talking about that they have had luck doing that. So I just haven't done it. Lady Sharon says, did Count Maximus change his name? Wasn't he third? Yeah, he did change his name. These guys like to change their name and their artwork a lot. I'm going to bring that screen back up. They've changed it around from time to time. Shaman 15 changed his artwork up there to be the vice president. Maximus changed his name and his artwork to be, I guess, Speaker of the House of Representation. I don't know what it stands for. And King of Queens made his King of Queens icon into a presidential icon. Yeah, they were all on the show yesterday, so it was a good, interesting conversation. Donnie says, are you going to make 2K parcels this year? Probably. I'm hoping, and thus far I've been able to do it without stretching too far. I've been making 100 parcels a month. So if I bring that out, I made 1,000 parcels the first year. But as you know, when you first start out, it's very slow. I'm up and running. I feel like I can get 100 parcels a month. Some months, maybe 125. I don't know. But I'm going to be more than 2,000 parcels by the end of year 2. Probably, if I had to guess, maybe 2,200, something like that. Of course, when I do the year 2 video, I'll put it out so everybody can see what I've done. Let's see here. Martin says, Steve, you don't have to wait. You have to be mayor at midnight. Yeah. We were talking about being mayor. Martin says, Bronze, does anyone else in your family play Atlas Earth? They do not. And frankly, I think maybe my daughter's tired of me talking about it. I don't know. My wife is kind of neutral. She does help me out. She drives me around to these various locations where I go to buy parcels, and we take a trip together. Usually she's driving, so she does help me out. And she is somewhat helped out on the, kind of strategy. Like sometimes I'll ask her, like this morning, I was trying to decide where the next place for me to take mayorship over is. And I was like, well, I could do it in this township, or I could do it in this township. And then she gave her opinion. One township would take slightly more, but it's got 2 major shopping complexes in it, and it just has a lot more throughput. So it makes more sense. Throughput as far as people, major roads and stuff. So that's what you're looking for when you take over mayorship. If you can possibly you're looking for high high population density areas. Obviously, if you can take over a major city, that's great, but usually major cities are high numbers to take over. And that is also why some of these top guys like Shaman, King of Queens, Maximus, Stealth, they take over the large cities, because there's a lot of badge income there, right? It's just a huge amount of AB to take those over. So I live near Philadelphia. There's no way I could take over Philadelphia, just the high numbers there. So but if you've got an area on the smaller scale, like we were talking, and you're choosing between a couple different areas to take over mayor, and one of the areas has a couple major shopping centers or places where there are a lot of throughput of traffic, like business centers or something like that, then that would be a better choice in my mind than an area next to it, which is like all residential, So if you're having to choose where to take over mayor, go with the high, throughput of traffic, in my opinion. What was I doing? Oh, I was going to bring up my main screen. So I'm currently 150 away from the 2x multiplier, and like I said, I should in the next day or two should be chopping 50 off of that, and I should have another 50 before the end of the month. So, and I'm trying to arrange it, of course, to get my multiple buy parcel challenges going. Interestingly enough, the last few months I haven't had to do the fourth level of buy parcels, and I've heard that they've really changed the amount of parcels, and I think brought the number down this month. I think that Annalise can correct me if I'm wrong on that. To me, I look forward to the buy parcels, because what's this game about? It's about buying parcels. So if I can align my parcel buying on a monthly basis and clear the challenges, it's a win-win, right? I'm not worried about buying parcels. That's one thing for sure I'm going to be doing in-game every month. Okay, let's jump back into chat, and I'll stop blabbering. Scott says, I hope all you Earthlings are doing well today. Well, I'm doing pretty good. A little bit sore from bending over and picking weeds. I still got a bunch of weeds along my driveway. My driveway is like a weed farm. And we've also got to put the other door on our shed, which has turned into a much bigger job than expected. But I want to get it done. Donnie says, how can I add friends and earn Atlas bucks? Or is this only possible in the U.S.? So here's the thing. They took that system out of the game about 3 months ago. Okay. It is the referral system. Now, if you still have your old referral code, you can still use it, which is what I do. Okay. This, when they put it back into the game, as far as I know, it'll be available to everybody. But it's something they took out of the game, which to their statement on one of their live streams or one of their recorded events, was that they are changing over the provider of the referral system. Why it's taken this long, I don't know. But they had said at that point that they're looking towards fall as far as putting the referral system back in. Okay, so if you have an old code, it will still work, and that's what I have in all my, when I talk about it in my videos, because tell you the truth, it's helped me out. And I don't see, like I said in my last video, I don't see why they're not prioritizing this. There's got to be some kind of reason behind it, because having a referral system to me would bring a lot of people into the game. Okay. So obviously they're looking at the numbers on the back end, and maybe they just don't agree with me. I just don't know why it's taken this long. Of course, I don't talk to them. I have no insight. So that's the answer to that. Martin says, Donnie, we can't at this minute. They are doing the referral system. Yeah, exactly what I said. Blood Crow says, I mine crypto and was thinking Friday that if instead of spending thousands on a miner with tariffs and all and shipping, usually minimal like 4 to 8K spending, that is at least in Atlas Earth where no electrical costs. Yeah, I would be careful about that though. We're talking two different things. I used to mine crypto as well. until ETH went proof of stake instead of proof of work. And then I shut down all my miners. And I'm on the other part of my channel, I do cover Web3 games. So I'm into crypto. And I do know that in a lot of people's minds, crypto has a bad kind of reputation. To me, I think it's some major pump and dump schemes and in games, and not just in games, in just the tokens. I think there's a few major rotten apples that soured everybody on it. So I don't. Here's the thing about Atlas Earth. Everything I cover, whether it's a Web3 game or Atlas Earth, or I started playing. Was it CashWalk this past week? So I'm going to probably be doing a little video about that. My feelings on that. Any of these things, I would treat them as games and not as investments. Okay. If you're going to put money in at this point in time, my opinion, this is just my opinion. It's not investment advice. This is from a guy who mined crypto for several years, is that I would just buy crypto. If you're interested in Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. If you're interested in Ethereum, buy Ethereum and just be done with it. Hold it on a cold wallet, pull it off chain, hold it on a cold wallet, and that's your investment, right? Now, there's many different ways you can do that. The invest in any of the big coins, and I'm not going to go into that, but I think that the guy that just Shaman 15 went into Go mining, I believe. Once again, I don't know much about it, and I'm not advising this. So I treat these as games, not as investments. Like I said, I haven't put any money into the game. Everything that I reinvest comes from what I earn in the game. And I'm still up. You can see my phone here. I'm at about the 15-month mark, $439. I'm probably at about $300 of that is profit. The rest has been put back into the game through memberships and stuff like that. So I would be very wary about treating this vehicle as an investment. Even in their terms of service, they say, do not treat this as an investment. Easy for me to say. It is just a game. Keep in mind, although I do think that this game is doing very well, because otherwise they wouldn't be reinvesting in recoding the game and reskinning the game. They wouldn't be doing that unless they were doing really well, right? It's still a game, and games can go out. There's no, they can just be turned off at any point in time, right? We've all played games over the years that just got turned off because they weren't making enough money, right? And I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but if you choose to pick it as an investment and it gets turned off, then you're out of your money, right? So if you're going to put money into this, I would say come up with a very good plan and understand how to play the game and how to get the most out of your Atlas bucks, like we were talking about, taking over strategic mayorships so that you can earn extra Atlas bucks, right? You're relatively new to the game. I'll just say this. Taking over mayorships, governorships, presidentships, prime ministerships, they have different terms around the world, right? Same thing. You have the most plots of land in a certain area. And if you take over, somebody buys a badge in that area, then you're going to get 10% or 20 Atlas bucks off that badge. And this, planning carefully and executing your plan on taking over different different mayorships can really help out the influx of Atlas bucks into your wallet, so to speak. Okay, so that is what I consider, quote unquote, the end game of Atlas Earth. Getting up to the 2x multiplier, and along the way picking up as many mayorships as you can. If you can take over a governorship, great. If you can take over a prime ministership or whatever it's named in your area of the world, great, because that'll just help out. I mean, just put more Atlas bucks in your pocket. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Every time I scroll, it really jumps forward. DJ Dub Stomp's in the house. Welcome. Finally up to 5,515 parcels. Nice. Alberto says, did we ever find out if we are supposed to pay taxes over the money we make on the game? That's another one of those very touchy subjects. Here in the United States, technically, if you make income, which this is, you're supposed to pay taxes on it. There's a certain point, I believe $600, where Atlas Earth, if they pay that out on a yearly basis, they have to issue a statement to the tax department. So, like I said, none of this is tax advice, you know. And of course, wherever you're at in the world, every country has different taxation laws. So I don't like to get into that. I would say to talk to your tax preparer and see if they have any comment on it. My Financial Journeys in-house, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Says, running some surveys while lurking. Scott says, I'm really blowing through the challenge ladder. I'm not doing too bad. I'm not having great luck with surveys lately, though. Yeah, the last few months I've been doing pretty good with surveys, but for some reason in July and the last few days, the 1st of August, I'm not doing great on surveys. Caveman Cannabis is in house. Welcome. Steve says 30 days in and I have 44 parcels. That sounds like pretty good progress to me. If you have 44 parcels, Steve, go ahead and grab your first badge. Get that 5% extra bonus coming in. Zolden says, play versus win is huge. Sometimes the wins are very hard with everyone knowing the tricks to win. Yes, I completely agree. One of the things that makes playing the game sometimes, depending upon the game, a lot tedious, you know. So we'll see how this works. I'm sure that, you know, one thing they've been doing is just changing things around a little bit to see what works, what doesn't work. I'm sure they're playing that around to see how that affects the pots on the mini games, because that's been a hot topic lately, because, you know, we switched over from paying the 2 Atlas buck per game to just a whatever, however they figure out the pot. It's just we have to watch ads now, and that money goes into the pot. So obviously everybody, you know, a lot of, you know, it's a lose-lose situation because you can't make everybody happy. There's a certain amount of people that complained about the 2 Atlas buck per game, and then it got changed. They figured out a way to do them for free. You just have to watch an ad, right? Now people are complaining that the ads, the pots went down. So they're trying some different things to see how the numbers work out and trying to make it a little bit, you know, please more people, obviously. DWG says, I like that change, the play versus win. It seems to me like they'll make a change and they'll do it for like 2 months and see how things work out. So that's like a 2-month sample. My Financial Journey says, at Alberto, in the U.S., you're supposed to pay taxes on all earnings. Dun, dun, dun. That being said, most banks and financial institutions don't issue tax paperwork unless you make more than $600 per year. Annalise says the chart this month is being done by CashWalk and KC Fan of the AE calculator. Oh, okay. So you had to stop doing that once you took that job. Okay. That's good to know, though. I didn't know. It's obvious, you know. She's now an employee of the company, so she had to step back from that. That's cool, though. Scott says, Hulk, smash that like button, please. Like and subscribe. Caveman says, I completed most of the challenge tiers in the first day. Interesting. Now I'm waiting for mini games. I was feeling like there would never be a chance this month, so thanks for pointing out it was plays. You know, I'm just not so worried about completing. I want to complete it, but I'm not worried about completing it so fast, right? So the last 2 months, I've been able to complete it in 11 days. I'm just not rushing, you know. Like last night, I completed an amp mission. We ordered dinner, and that gives you a lot of points. So, and I've been trying to. I think I went through the first 3 tiers of doing the surveys. Although it's, like I said, I've had bad luck. It's taken more surveys to complete. Chelsea says, hi from South Africa. Is it me or is it hard to get surveys in my country? I like I just said, Chelsea, I've been having a hard time with surveys. I mean, I can get surveys, but it's like I've been dumped out of a lot of them. Hey, we're not the one you're looking for. And I'm in previous months, I've been luckier with getting dumped out of a survey and getting that 1 or 2 Atlas buck, which would complete the survey requirement for the challenge ladder. But this month, not so much. The ones I've been dumped out of, a lot of times I'm not getting that extra 1 or 2. Alessandro says, I started this game 15 days ago, 32 parcels owned and 3 badges. Nice. Sounds like good progress. Just stick with it. Find what you like to do in the game and what you really don't want to do, and just roll with it and just come up with, like I said, everybody has a different plan for how you like to play the game. So Blood Crow says, at Bronze Dragon, there was an Atlas app that if you do a subscription, you got like 1,000 AB or something. I thought about doing. Well, they've got 2 subscriptions, right? You've got the challenge ladder, okay? And the challenge ladder requires you to go through a different set of, you can do it free, but on the free side, you get much less out of it than if you do it under the subscription, which is if you pre-subscribe, it's $10, and that subscribes you for the next month. If you subscribe in the middle of the month, it's $15, okay? But you get a lot more AB from completing the challenges. And that amounts to being like 1,132 or something like that. I don't know if that's like the total. Let me pump over here. So this is the reward ladder, the challenge ladder we're talking about. And as you go by, you can see that on the free side, you get 5, 10, 12. You can see that. But if you pay for the subscription, you also get both sides. So you can get 20, 25, 30, 35, 35. So you can see that it adds up and like I said, if you can find that you can make it about 70% through the challenge ladder, then it's worth that $10 a month, because all these extra Atlas bucks that you get on the side, there's a much greater value. I did a video. It was probably several months ago, but look on my channel. I did a video where I compared the price of just outright buying Atlas bucks to playing the challenge ladder and subscribing, also to the Explorer Club. The Explorer Club is the $50 a month option. And some people do both. You can do both if you want. But the $50 a month is still a better value from the numbers I did. Then I'm trying to pull it up here. Then just outright buying. I am not a member of the Explorer Club, but you can see on your daily claim that Explorer Club members can claim the 1, but then they also can claim the 90 per day. And then, as you can see, when you get your increments, like here on the day 30, you get a 500 bonus. Okay, so there are 2 different ways. Both the subscriptions, this is the kind of TLDR version of my video, both of the subscriptions are better value per Atlas buck than just outright buying Atlas buck packs. Okay, so Elise is in the house, or Alice. Welcome. She says, hope everyone is doing fine. I hope you're doing fine as well. Thanks for dropping by. Dave Coley's here. Welcome, Dave. Says, I think what the joke is, I have been going as long as you, and I am on $158 in the UK, and you're on $430. There's something a bit unfair about this. It's all, like I said, it's all based on advertising, and I also get a fair amount of Atlas bucks off of using the referral code. So, and I use the AMP program. I think that's a major difference between us, is they don't have the AMP program in other countries. But they also require us to buy a fair amount more parcels of land. So it all comes down to marketing and the money they make off of the marketing. That's if you're new to the game, that is, I need to do my 20-minute ad. I'm behind because I was talking. If you're new to the game, it's all about marketing. That's how all this money is produced. You watch ads. We see so many different ads, whether it's just in the game for boosting or claiming your 20-minute 1 or 2 Atlas buck. Tons of ads in the games we play. You know, that's what it's all based upon. And the fact of the matter is they just make a lot more money off of advertising here in the States than in other countries. In fact, they went on and they stated that the ad revenue from here in the States supports some of the other like mini games outside of the United States for happening. So I can't speak a whole lot on that because you know, I'm not on the team or anything. So there's how the situation looks now. King and Queen at 122,464, and when we were with him yesterday, he was out in Los Angeles buying, which we can click over here. I didn't try to drill down and find exactly where he's at, but this is what Los Angeles looks like. A lot of heavy concentration. Okay, back to the chat. Donnie says, last 5 days I earned 120 Atlas bucks on badges. Nice, that's nice. Beer Money Engine is in the house. Did we hit 100 yet? No, we've currently got 57. I think the top was about 60 or so people in the chat. Beer Money Engine, did your like and subscribe. Nice. I always appreciate that. Caveman says, Dave, he has been playing for a year and a quarter while he has been eating his way to buy parcels along with surveys and games. Other countries have not been around long enough to... Yeah, I think I tried to analyze, you know, how I got a lot of my Atlas bucks over the last year. And the AMP program, I had 2 specific spots, and I've talked about them a lot because I really use them. One was a yogurt shop that I ate at lunch at once a week. It's around my work. And then once Salad Works. And both were four times multiplier on Atlas bucks. So every US dollar I spent, I got 4 Atlas bucks for. And so, you know, when I ordered dinner for my family from Salad Works, that was like 150 Atlas bucks, right? And, you know, if I ordered lunch, it was like, I don't know, 30 or 40, something like that. So that adds up quickly. So Caveman goes on to say, for your information, I've been playing since it first came out, and I still have a quarter of what he has. So strategy and consistency and referrals help a lot. Yeah. Yeah, taking over the 4 mayorships I have has helped. 2 of them mostly. The other two of my mayorships bring in, you know, like 20 or 40 Atlas bucks a week, and the other 2 really don't do a lot. Scott Kovac says, that grinds my gears. Short SX says LPU equals legendary parcel upgrade. So it doesn't mean legendary. LPU means legendary parcel upgrade. So you can have a legendary parcel or you can have a legendary parcel upgrade. A legendary parcel upgrade is what you either buy in the shop for 2,500 Atlas bucks to upgrade one of your commons or, to a legendary, but you also get that nice piece of artwork on there. or you can earn it through the monthly challenge ladder. If you complete the challenge ladder and are subscribed, then you earn whatever the LPU of the month is. So it doesn't specifically say legendary. It stands for legendary partial upgrade. Dave says yes, but he's on about 7 times, I believe, and I'm at 2 already. It isn't right. Well, like I said, it also, as with everything in life, you have to take it for what it is. If it's not worth your time, just it's not for everybody, right? So Caveman says, at Annalise, can you do the community a huge favor? Can you create a dictionary so we're all on the same page with terms? Paul says, I have bought badges on CTA, which I believe is a bus or a train, trains and buses. Soon to be on Metra's trains to buy more badges. Yeah, you can also pick up diamonds when you're on that too. Caveman says he also started with 30 instead of 20 in addition to having strategy. So Annalise says the acronym library or acronym list is on her list of things to do already. Blood Crow says, for some reason, the entries I put in for the LPU with Atlas Earth, my entries was removed. I have nothing to do with that. You would have to ask Annalise, because she herself and probably somebody else is helping her. One of the other guys on Discord and also Reddit. I don't know why they would just take it off though. Arvin says, I'm going to change my picture to Morgan and Morgan. My daughter and I always joke about that when those commercials come on. You know, Morgan, 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 and Morgan. This is a law firm, right? They say Morgan and Morgan so often in the commercials that it's just funny. Annalise says, at Bloodcrow, we were having an issue with the Reddit removing LPUs people put in for the contest. It was not on our end. Let me see. Keep right-clicking for some reason. It was not on our end. We are trying to read them back as quickly as we can. Okay, so there was some kind of issue going on. Caveman says, I see we have a new president after all. Missed the showdown. Yeah, there wasn't much of a showdown. This was a planned event. Shaman 15 has decided to, I mean, he's going to keep playing the game. Obviously, he has so much money into the game, but he has decided not to he's putting his money elsewhere now. And he's not going to fight for the presidency. But it was nice. They were both check over on Beer Money Engine. Check out the recording of the live stream from yesterday. 2.5 hour live stream. They were on there. Maximus was on there, although he didn't say a whole lot. Annalise was on there. I was on there. Pharaoh was on there. So it was a great time, and it was a long live stream because I usually just do an hour, right, or an hour and a half. But it was a great discussion because it's completely different the way we play towards the bottom compared to the way they play at the top, right? You know. Bloodcrow says, evidently they banned my whole account because of this. Said I was a bot. Oh, wow. Banned your Reddit account? Short SX says, mine salad for payday. It's renting your servers out. I made £5 a day free. Okay. Budget investing here is here. Welcome. What's the rumors on the AMP program? Well, there's really not any rumors. I just haven't heard anything as far as what the status is going. I have, here a few weeks back, they were a bunch of stuff on my end was taken off. All the, I've used the AMP program much less over the last month because a bunch of the providers were taken off. So whether they're in the testing phase of the new whatever's going changes they're making, I have no idea. They're very tight-lipped about that, and they don't let Annalise put out any information about that. So it is one of those things that I would figure, due to the they weight the AMP challenges very heavily. So I'm going to assume that it's a way they make good money. So I don't know why they wouldn't bring the fixing or the revolution or evolution is a better term for that, of the AMP program forward with priority compared to, some of these other things they're working on, so like the social media thing they're working on. So not that I'm against it, it's just I would think that it would be higher priority. Donnie S. says, I'm thinking about selling my house, buy an apartment in Brazil, or Belém, Brazil. I'm not familiar with that area. Buy for $50 a month and make $455 a month. And I have a decent income for living. Yeah, we have to understand that in different areas of the world, this can be a real income for people, depending upon what you usually make, So I would just, once again, be very careful, and I would always err on the side of caution as far as changing your living arrangements and everything. But there's some places where they're playing this, and this is the legitimate income for their life, So I wouldn't shortchange that. Caveman says, what would be cool is if AE Calculator was an app, maybe using an AE API to pull your current data. Then we could use AE Calculator to set up notifications and reminders. Yeah, it would be cool. He would have to, it's clear that he's the person who's KC fan does that website would have to, it's clear that he knows what he's doing as far as HTML and stuff like that and arranging the website. But it would take a lot of development to go ahead and take and put that onto an actual app. So whether he knows how to do that or whether that's a cost he wants to absorb, a lot of different things, So it would be cool, though. Short SX says, more offers we need. I agree. Donnie says they should make a mini game of making an ad puzzles so you don't need the ads before the game. Caveman says what they could do is take inspiration from games like Bingo, where while it is finding you an opponent, you watch an ad. That's interesting. Dave Coley says, I put my VPN on yesterday and saw Atlas Games has anybody played them yet that's better than the arcade. I obviously couldn't access it, says VPN detected. Yeah, VPN is against the rules. It's specifically against the rules. And I know we've had a number of people that say, oh, I need the VPN, whatever. A VPN connection is one of those parts to the puzzle to location spoofing. So that's why it's against the rules. Okay, so if you have a VPN on and you have, I would advise no one to play. I would advise everyone, if you're playing Atlas Earth, have your VPN turned off while you're playing Atlas Earth, because it's one of those things that can get your account flagged and possibly investigated and banned. So. And Annalise pretty much just says exactly what I did. Yeah, Alberto says there's an app already for the calculator on App Store. I think that's a different creator though. Yeah, I haven't used that one either, but I think it's two different people. If it serves the purpose you need it, Go for it. Caveman says he could use AI to turn the site into an app. That's true, but there's still, AI is not perfect. A lot of times the best you can hope with AI, currently I know it's getting better, but you're going to get about 60% of the way there, and then you're going to have to manually do it. And if you just don't know how to do it, then there's a problem there. Okay, well, we're about 10 minutes over the hour. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate everybody stopping by, as always, and talking Atlas Earth on a weekly basis. Please join me next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Noon Eastern time here on YouTube. Until that time, I hope that your ladder challenge progress goes well for the first week of the month. And I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy, as always. And I will see you in Atlas Earth. Have a great week.